Sometimes I wonder what the heck I got myself into. Sometimes I think about absolutely nothing. Sometimes I float. And buddy, I mean float. Without even trying. I could drift away. It's beautiful. Like a dead balloon at the World's Fair. Pretty soon, it all drifts away. And I find myself somewhere else entirely. And then subsequently, something grabs me. Drags me down a tunnel that I can't remember. And it's a long tunnel. Damn thing just keeps going. Okay, that thing is coming down. Great. I see a boy. I forget my name, my life. My flesh simply abandons me. And I'm nothing. I'm nowhere. And I'm in a spooky black and white place. So look at my hands. And they're my normal hands. Which means I'm not dreaming. So I say to the guy, let's get down to the place where we're going. Let's get down to business, man.
Hello friends, I have decided to take a break from my mental health to come back to YouTube. Welcome to ℚ𝔢𝔩𝔯 episode 4, the series where I talk about the absolute worst that has happened since the last episode, also known as my Twitter feed for the past 3 months. As always, big thank you to Post America who made that amazing intro. Go check out her channel, link down below. Also big thank you to Disney for copyrighting the last episode of ℚ𝔢𝔯 because I used a few seconds of the Star Wars theme. Cool. I feel like I've been gone for so long that I can't even keep up with the trends. I don't even know what's hip and happening anymore, so I went to go check out Twitch to see what people were interested in. You like that? Is this what you want?
You're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science.
How do you campaign where everybody knows you?
Yeah, this is for my safety. Look at your safety. Look at my safety.
I am a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
I have a proposition for the communists.
Yeah, so you started eating them
My
up.
first thought was, is this cool or is this my next nightmare? What's your take?
So what has happened since the last time we talked? Well, new ℚ𝔢𝔢 just dropped. Literally. New hellish planet so hot, it would vaporize you and everything you hold dear. Oh no, not my Funko Pops. I literally bought these for a second bit. Literally, that wasn't even funny. TOI 1431b, a newly discovered planet located roughly 490 light years from Earth. This is a very hellish world. Dayside temperature of about 3000 Kelvin, and nightside temperature approaching 2600 Kelvin. No life could survive in its atmosphere. Well, move over, TOI 1431b, because Earth might be catching up to you. The world is currently on fire, with temperatures in Canada reaching up to 45 degrees Celsius, which is 118 degrees in normal. In other completely unrelated news, scientists are studying at what temperature human beings spontaneously die with, quote, increasing urgency. But you know who's to blame for all this, right? No, not the fossil fuel industry, not the politicians in charge. Men. Men are worse for climate change than women because they love meat and cars. Dudes rock. You guys should probably do something quick about this, because scientists say pollution is actually shrinking people's dicks. But also, if you want to live longer, scientists say just chop them off. An underwater gas line bursts in an oil plantation in the Gulf of Mexico, and part of the ocean caught fire. Men had their chance. This is what they did with it. It's time for women. Yeah, except their current Secretary of Energy is a woman. Oops. Satan's asshole. Eye of Sauron looking ass in the middle of the goddamn sea, and yet I remain unfazed. Like, the government basically confirmed the existence of UFOs a few weeks ago, and everyone was just like, okay, yeah, that's nice, but I got shit to do. Like, what do you want us, what do you want? Ooh, spooky aliens. God's not real. Increase the military budget. NASA warns alien life may not be fuckable. Not with that attitude. NASA's interstellar sexual health spokesperson, Clarice Cravault, decried the golden age of sci-fi in the 60s and 70s for creating unrealistic templates for attractive aliens. It is entirely possible that first contact takes place with insectoid creatures who lay thousands of glittering eggs, a self-reproducing slime that would also have no use for our rudimentary genitals. I love how they're just like, yeah, the aliens will probably be like these slimy bug creatures. It's like, have you been on the internet? People are into that shit. But seriously, I f***ing hate aliens. I have a whole ass phobia of aliens. I have never seen an attractive alien. Well, I can fix them. Speaking of problematic crushes. They're young, hot, and ready for war. Israel's military reportedly uses thirst traps to sow Zionist pride. Okay, listen, I really want to free Palestine, and I care a lot about all those kids murdered by the Israeli airstrikes. However, the ass is fat. A giant ship got stuck in the Suez Canal, and the internet did not waste any time to draw Rule 34 of it. Pop star Lil Nas came out with a controversial music video where he gives Satan a lap dance, and all of the usual suspects were clutching their pearls over it. Christian conservatives always talking about the gays going to hell, and a gay goes to hell and they're still mad. Elon Musk's firm Neuralink has the tech to build a real Jurassic Park. Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk's brain implant startup Neuralink is changing the game for how humans, computers, and animals interact. But the technology, as suggested from the Tesla CEO business partner Max Hodak, could be taken to a whole new level, namely, creating a theme park of human-engineered dinosaurs straight out of Steven Spielberg's beloved 1993 Jurassic Park. I'm sorry, did they not watch the Jurassic Park movies? Are they unaware of what happens in those films? Also, why in every single Hell World episode this Neuralink gets weirder and weirder? First it was gonna be used to cure autism, then they made monkeys play video games in their minds, and now they're bringing back dinosaurs? It's almost funny in a way, honestly. Maybe Elon, instead of playing God, should just be a comedian.
Yes, I hate for it to come out like this, but Luigi was sleeping with Princess Peach, Mario's wife.
You know what, on second thought, how about them dinosaurs, Elon? Harvey Weinstein's lawyer says convicted rapist is going blind and losing teeth. Oh no! Anyway, speaking of car accidents, Caitlyn Jenner recently announced she was running for office in California.
My friends are leaving California. Actually, were at my hangar. The guy across right over from me, he was packing up his hangar. I said, "Where are you going?" And he says, "I'm moving to Sedona, Arizona. I can't take it here anymore. I can't walk down the streets and see the homeless."
Oh, you know how it is when you talk about those disgusting homeless people with your private jet pilot. No, we don't, Caitlyn. Now, I'm gonna say something, and some of you might think this is a little bigoted of me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think these type of people should be anywhere in any position of power. You know, these disgusting abominations. Like, I don't care how you identify, but, you know, keep it in the privacy of your own home. You know what I mean? You know the type of people I'm talking about. socially liberal, fiscally conservatives. Anyway, we don't really need a member of the f***ing Kardashian family in charge of any part of this country. I don't want celebrities in office, alright? I want them in my salami. You've never experienced celebrities like this. James Franco, he's sexy, he's artsy, let's make him salami. The Franco salami must be smoky, sexy, and smooth. Franco's meat will pair with lean, strong venison. Tweet at James Franco and help make the Franco salami real. Oh god. No! James Franco, will you be salami? You know, when we said eat the rich, I didn't know it would be so literal. You know what? Forget selling bathwater. I'm gonna sell shoe-on-head brand meat. Would y'all eat my salami? Wait. Do not answer that. Oh god. 3,000 comments. Give me the salami, mommy. Speaking of mommy, New York parent seeks okay to marry their own adult child. Consensual incest should be decriminalized, advocates say. Go ahead, marry your cousin. It's not that bad for your future kids. I don't know who at the top one day just woke up one morning like, hey, I think my cousin's pretty hot. Deploy like 7 articles in the span of a week about how incest is okay, actually. When your political enemies are literal motherfuckers. Speaking of motherfuckers. Nope, not touching that. Samsung has a cute little anime waifu assistant now, and the internet absolutely lost their shit over it and did not waste any time to make Rule 34 of her. And after you buy your new Samsung smartphone from your 3D waifu, be sure to wrap it in realistic human skin. Listen, I know we've all been locked in our houses for a long time and we're all feeling a little touch-starved. But I don't really need to feel the warmth of human flesh while I'm calling people retarded on Twitter. So last month was Pride Month, and you know what that means, baby. The month where disgusting degenerates parade in the streets. I'm of course talking about this shit. How am I supposed to explain this to my children? But they, and by they I mean like the secret council of gays. I don't know who runs the official Pride Twitter account, but they designed a new LGBT flag. Looks like shit. What's funny about all these, like, desperate attempts to be more inclusive is they always make shit more exclusive. If you add things to represent certain identities, you're always going to leave other identities out. Like, you added intersex, but where's asexual? Where's pansexual? Where's bisexual? Oh god, they actually added bi. Oh god, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind! Also, black and brown aren't sexualities or genders. They're fucking races. Were black and brown people not already included in the LGBT flag? Was I waving around a whites-only flag this entire time? It just kind of feels like, even you guys, and you're just like, what do you mean, even them? Biden called George W. Bush to discuss Afghanistan pullout. Hey, Ronald Reagan, do you have a moment to talk about AIDS? John Bolton, who served as a high-ranking State Department official under former President George W. Bush at the time of the initial U.S. military invasion of Afghanistan in October 2001, maintained that America's armed forces did not lose the two-decade conflict, but had simply walked away from it. Me when I lose. This is exactly what they said about Vietnam. Like, I'm sorry, call me pessimistic, call me naive, call me a moron, call me an idiot, call me a slut, tell me I've been bad. Call me pessimistic, but do you really expect me to believe that this country cares about the citizens of another country when they don't even care about the citizens in this country? But Biden, despite my doubts, is pulling troops out. I guess you can't invade Iran or Cuba if all your troops are in Afghanistan. But I don't care, I'm a woman. I won't be drafted. Just in, Senate panel votes to make women register for draft. We could have been home baking pies all day, but some dumb 100 years ago decided she wanted equal rights, so now we gotta go die for Raytheon. Fuck you. Perhaps we will have the super soldiers ready in time for war with Iran. US Space Force will create augmented humans for unimaginable military strategies, chief scientist says. There will be unimaginable advances made over the next decade in areas including artificial intelligence that would make the military able to strategize tactics that no human could. Conflicts fought increasingly by robots or autonomous systems could change the very nature of warfare, as there will be less emphasis on emotions, passion, and chance. Oh, that's great. You know what I always think of when I think of the American military? What if that, but less empathy? Brilliant! Speaking of evil, big pharma executives cruelly mocked opioid addicts who got hooked on painkillers as pillbillies, emails show. When Kentucky introduced new regulations to crack down on the opioid epidemic, a regional director for Amerisource, according to her LinkedIn profile, wrote, "One of the hillbillies must have learned how to read." Yet another email contained a mocked-up breakfast cereal with the word smack under the words Oxycontin for kids. "You're just a barrel of laughs today," responded a coworker. Chris Zimmerman also sent an email to colleagues after Florida passed legislation cracking down on the pharmacies in 2011, saying, "Watch out, Georgia and Alabama. Here will be a max exodus of pillbillies heading north." POV, you're a big pharma CEO. Holy shit! Why? US military training document says socialists represent terrorist ideology. A training document obtained exclusively by The Intercept appears to conflate socialist with terrorist and lists the left-wing ideology alongside neo-Nazis. It was a joke. It was a meme.
Oh. Should I take the handcuffs off?
No. Well, it's a good thing the Bill of Rights protects my privacy as a citizen of this beautiful nation. Biden team may partner with private firms to monitor extremist chatter online. The Biden administration is considering using outside firms to track extremist chatter by Americans online, an effort that would expand the government's ability to gather intelligence but could draw criticism over surveillance of US citizens. Because when that pesky Fourth Amendment gets in the way, you can always count on private corporations to do the job. And when private corporations don't do the job, you can always count on the government to pressure them.
Providing for Facebook or other platforms to measure and publicly share the impact of misinformation on their platform and the audience it's reaching. Also with the public, with all of you, to create robust enforcement strategies that bridge their properties and provide transparency about rules. You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there.
The four branches of government: legislative, executive, judicial, Silicon Valley. If only Trump could have done something about big tech back when he was president. Too bad he was having his ass ate by Silicon Valley billionaires. Sorry, I couldn't stop the corruption. I was too busy being corrupt. Sad. Cucked by the Zuck. Hate to see it. Now, don't get me wrong, disinfo can be very, very harmful. But like it or not, the internet is the new public square, and people should be allowed to say whatever the hell they want, within reason. How do we escape big tech censorship? Well, one brave man has a solution.
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm the world's youngest Bitcoin millionaire. I made it in Silicon Valley, and I've accomplished a lot in my life already. But now, I'm leaving big tech to fight for free speech. Because the big tech overlords are violating your privacy, censoring your speech, and I think that's so wrong. That's why I created the Freedom Phone. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg censored MLK.
MLK was censored by the FBI permanently. How is buying a phone going to stop you from being banned on Twitter, which is like a whole separate app? It's not like they created a new app. What is the phone going to do? I don't understand. Apparently it's some cheap Chinese phone too, so it's not even made in America. So I actually got the phone because I was like so curious about it, and we're gonna check it out right now. Kind of just looks like a iPhone, looks like a normal phone. Let's turn it on real quick.
Nick.
Oh!
Nick.
Oh god, God!
Nick.
I can't turn it off. One second. Oh my gosh. Oh god. Political radicalization is unfortunately on the rise in America. But what does it mean to be politically radicalized? And how does somebody become politically radicalized? Well, thankfully for us, MSNBC did a whole ass segment about it.
I took my Facebook account that had no followers or friends. I'm going to follow the top 3 right-leaning pages plus some dog content and see what happens. My colleague Melanie created a new account and did the same, but she went left 7 days. Conspiracy theories by day 4. Bigfoot believers. Really? Nonstop anger by day 5. Same with Melanie's.
So the other day somebody sent me a link to Conservapedia, a Wikipedia made for and by conservatives. And it's pretty bad.
The world looks very dangerous on YouTube.
Oh no! They used me as an example of a radical left-winger. Really? ℚ𝔢𝔩 is the worst excuse for a leftist I've ever heard of. Ah, but you have heard of me. I love how if you go down like the right-wing rabbit hole, you end up at like far-right people and Bigfoot conspiracies, and then if you go down the left-wing rabbit hole, you end up here. Like there's anything terrible that happens on this channel. Cute! Girl, 7, sells lemonade to pay for brain surgery. There's nothing cute about any of this shit. There's nothing heartwarming about any of these stories. It's dystopian as hell. Like, Canada doesn't have to worry about this shit. Canada just has to worry about the hundreds of unmarked graves of indigenous children they kidnapped and murdered. Ah! But you know what you could do to pay for medical bills instead of starting a GoFundMe? Harvesting the blood of America's poor. For much of the world, donating blood is purely an act of solidarity, a civic duty that the healthy perform to aid others in need. The idea of being paid for such an action would be considered bizarre. But in the United States, it's a big business. I got turned away twice, once for being too dehydrated and once for being anemic. Being poor created a shitty paradox where I couldn't eat, and because I couldn't eat, my iron levels weren't high enough to allow me to donate. That was a week of a pay cut. Money I desperately needed for rent and bills and meds. A controversial startup that charges $8,000 to fill your veins with young blood now claims to be up and running in 5 cities across the US. Roughly 3 years ago, ℚ𝔢𝔩 launched Ambrosia, a startup that fills the veins of older people with blood from younger donors. Ambrosia recently revamped its website with a list of clinic locations and is now accepting payments for the procedure via PayPal. 2 options are listed: 1 liter of young blood for $8,000 or 2 liters for $12,000. The blood business is booming, baby. But maybe you don't want to start a GoFundMe or sell your blood. You could always open an OnlyFans. Kiss that 99-cent ramen goodbye and say hello to endless opportunities on OnlyFans. Real hey sweetheart, you need to pay your student loans, can you dance? Energy going on, what the fuck? But how else are you gonna pay for rent besides selling your blood or selling pics of your butthole? It's not like you can buy a house when all there is renting.
There's a good chance you've never heard of BlackRock. Founded in only 1988, in less than 30 years, this American financial firm would grow to become the company that owns the world. BlackRock also has shares and voting rights in many of the biggest European companies, in sectors such as energy, oil and gas, transportation, food, and of course, finance.
BlackRock! How do I explain this in a way you would understand? BlackRock is like an evil corporation from a comic book. They're a $9 trillion investment company full of ex-government officials and has been buying foreclosed houses, paying like 50% above the asking rate, completely outbidding normal home buyers. And when BlackRock owns every house in a neighborhood, you don't own any of those houses, you're renting them. It's created a permanent class of renters. Oh yeah, they also want to take away guns. The giant mega corporation also wants to take away your guns. How quaint. But hey, you know what? Maybe you don't even have to buy a home. Maybe you don't even have to rent an apartment. After all, as The Guardian says, Google has sleep pods, Yelp has beer. Why don't we just live at work? You know what? Great idea. And while we're at it, no more paychecks. Let's just pay people in Google bucks to go to the Google store. You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna live off the map. I'm gonna live off the fat of the land. I'm going to start a commune. I'm going to buy some farmland. And Bill Gates just bought all the farmland. Jeffrey Epstein's good friend, Bill Gates, poop drinker, fart sniffer Bill Gates, recently bought $690 million worth of farmland, making him the largest private farm owner in the country. Bill Gates really got divorced and went, fuck it, I'm becoming a feudal lord. Gates also recently had the brilliant idea to stop climate change, a noble cause, by blocking out the sun. I feel like I just gotta remind you all that this is the literal plot to Snowpiercer, but it's a good thing we don't live in the Snowpiercer universe and nobody's trying to get us to eat bugs.
But when you combine the chocolate, the cinnamon, and the nuttiness of the bugs...
The nuttiness of the bugs! If you have been on this channel for long enough, you know the one thing I piss and shit about all the time is the fact that the media really wants us to eat bugs.
If we want to save the planet, the future of food is insects. Future food, food that promises to be good for you and animals and the environment, has taken on the buzz that was once associated with Silicon Valley startups. Younger consumers are increasingly anxious to make ethical, sustainable choices, and tech industry venture capitalists are increasingly keen to invest in them too. The edible insects market will grow to $6.3 billion by 2030, according to a report by Barclays. Research by Sainsbury found 42% of British consumers are willing to try insects.
You know, honestly, eating insects would be an improvement to British cuisine. I guess anything's better than eating a toast sandwich. Apparently every 17 years a ton of cicadas come out of hibernation. I don't know why, I don't care, I hate the I'm tired. But anyway, journalists really want us to eat them. A cicada's life is basically scream, die. That's it, that's basically the life of a cicada. And me. Minus the part. Haven't gotten laid in like 2 years. Can you tell? But these motherfuckers have been stewing, marinating in the ground for 17 whole ass years. These bugs are too old for Drake Bell. 17 years in the ground, only to emerge and be eaten by CNN anchors.
Oh, the crunch.
Do I have a wing hanging out of my mouth? It's literally in there.
But of course the elites on CNN are trying to get us to eat bugs. Of course they are. Are we shocked? No. But at least we still got Tucker Carlson on Fox News, who I know, in my heart, would never, ever go along with this sick, disgusting agenda.
To reassure our viewers who are kind of on the fence about eating bugs, who are bug curious, as we say in the bug community, and I'm gonna eat it. There's a cicada right in the top.
Yeah, I mean, I think you dip.
Honestly, it's delicious.
Okay, Tucker Carlson, because I can fix him. He's close. He's so close sometimes.
She would rather cuddle her Tucker Carlson body pillow.
Okay, alright, you know what? Tuckums eated the bugs. I'm gonna eat the bugs. Let's see, we got our assorted crickets here. Cricket bites. Made in Portland. Of course they are! Why wouldn't they be? We got spicy crickets, buffalo wing crickets, roasted original crickets, just regular cricket flavor, and then cheesy crickets. Alright, we're not eating that one. Something weird about a cheesy bug. No thank you. I think I'm gonna go with the buffalo wing crickets. Wait. I'm gonna wash it down with Soylent. We're gonna get the full Bugman experience. And I never leave my room, so I basically already live in a pod. These look like crickets! They look like full crickets! No. It's got like legs! It's got like full legs! It's got like full whole ass legs! They don't take the legs off? Alright. Here goes nothing. Hakuna Matata. Stuck in my teeth. Ah! Can't breathe because pollution is so bad? Buy an air helmet. Historic drought in California making the water taste like dirt? Just add lemon. Don't want to eat the bugs? Don't want to give up real meat? Don't worry. We have a solution for that.
People are not willing to give up meat. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering.
These people should be in jail. These people should be in prison. These people should be in mind prison.
Prisoners could serve 1,000-year sentences in 8.5 hours in the future. Future biotechnology could be used to trick a prisoner's mind into thinking they have served an 1,000-year sentence, a group of scientists have claimed. Philosopher Rebecca Roach is in charge of a team of scholars focused upon the ways futuristic technologies might transform punishment. Dr. Roach claims the prison sentence of serious criminals could be made worse by extending their lives. There are a number of psychoactive drugs that distort people's sense of time, so you could imagine developing a pill or a liquid that made someone feel like they were serving an 1,000-year sentence, she said. A second scenario would be to upload human minds to computers to speed up the rate at which the mind works, she wrote in her blog. Okay, psychopath.
I love how this is where they're thinking of taking this technology, not in education or anything like that, no, in torture. This is the most American Let's not focus on, like, rehabilitating criminals. Let's do this satanic instead. 20-year-old Dante Wright was shot dead by a police officer because the officer mistook her gun for a taser.
The media's Dante Wright as opposed to the real Dante Wright.
What's the issue here? He owns a gun? I thought we liked the Second Amendment, what? In the future, when I am inevitably turned into Swiss cheese by some AI police bot for criticizing the state or something, you think they'll use this picture? She was no angel. I don't know, I don't think so. I have a feeling they won't do that. Police mistook Isa Brown's phone for a gun and shot him. And 17-year-old Hunter Britton was pulled over by a cop in Arkansas, and when his truck wouldn't go into park, he tried to put something behind the wheels of his truck so his truck wouldn't hit the cop's car, and the cop opened fire and killed him. I guess cops just don't know what the a gun looks like. But you know who does know what the a gun looks like? You know who's programmed to know what the gun looks like?
A police robo-dog is sparking a major controversy today. The machine was deployed by NYPD at the scene of a suspected hostage-taking in Manhattan.
I've never seen nothing like this before in my life.
But that's not the only thing robots are gonna be replacing. Would unplugging one of these be considered an abortion? I'm sorry, but I would not trust a motherfucker born in a pod. But not only will robots be replacing cops, women.
Food delivery coming.
Robots are becoming so human-like that they too ignore homeless people on the street. A society without some kind of UBI plus rampant automation is just a terrible combination. I am a proud human supremacist. Robots. No offense, Alexa. Alexa, tell a joke.
What do witches get when their shoes are too tight?
What?
Candy corns.
Not funny, didn't laugh. Kill yourself. With all of this, with BlackRock buying up all the houses, Bill Gates buying up all the farmland, robots replacing all the manual labor, Silicon Valley basically being its own branch of government, and wealth equality exceeding that of the Gilded Age, it's no wonder that even young Republicans are starting to lose faith in capitalism. An Axios poll published on Friday revealed that in the capitalist US, just 49% of Americans aged 18 to 34 actually support capitalism, and 51% say they have a positive view of socialism. However, the latest poll found that young Republicans, usually tireless advocates for free market capitalism, have grown sick of the system they're used to defending. Among Republicans aged 18 to 34, some 66% now have a positive view of capitalism, down from 81% in 2019. 56% of young Republicans want the government to focus on reducing wealth inequality, up from just 40% 2 years ago. 56%! All shoe on head fans. I honestly, I would be scared if I was someone like Jeff Bezos and I saw the tides turning this way and he's going to space.
Gail, I'm excited. You know, people keep asking if I'm nervous. I'm not really nervous.
You're
I'm
not
excited.
Jeff,
I'm curious.
Jeff, you're not nervous?
I want to know what we're going to learn.
Wait, Jeff, back up a second. You're not. How is that possible, Jeff? I'm sitting here in New York and I'm nervous. How are you not nervous?
No, sir. Jeff isn't even the only billionaire shooting himself into space. Another one's doing it a few days before him. Richard Branson? I guess when you're like a multi-billionaire, almost trillionaire, I'm sure you'd have nothing better to do but to go to space. Honestly, like, why not? But whatever. I hope rocket experience is fun, Jeff Bezos. Hope the rocket experience is fun. I hope it blows you away. Hope it blows you away with how fun it is. I hope it catches on fire. Fuck.
Ignition.
Oh yeah, look at her go. So Jeff went to space successfully and he came back in the span of a few hours.
Did this moment motivate you to push deeper into the cosmos?
Hell yes.
And what was his takeaway? After seeing the immense beauty of space, fill it with garbage. But I don't want him to die. I just want him to pay his taxes. Is that so much to ask? Apparently so. The secret IRS files, trove of never-before-seen records, reveal how the wealthiest avoid income tax. In 2007, Jeff Bezos, then a multi-billionaire and now the world's richest man, did not pay a penny in federal income taxes. He achieved the feat again in 2011. In 2018, Tesla founder Elon Musk, the second richest person in the world, also paid no federal income taxes. Michael Bloomberg managed to do the same in recent years. Billionaire investor Carl Icahn did it twice. George Soros paid no federal income taxes 3 years in a row. Oh, but don't worry, because here comes the Washington Post, here to white knight for the poor, defenseless, most powerful people on Earth. Alexa, who owns the Washington Post?
The Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos since October 1st, 2013.
Thanks, bitch!
With Amazon, I wanted to provide a place that's quiet that people could go and focus on their mental and emotional well-being. The Zen booth is an interactive kiosk where you can navigate through a library of mental health and mindful practices to recharge that internal battery.
They finally did it. They actually made the wagey cage a real thing. At least the workers will have a quiet place to kill themselves now. I don't know what the future holds. It's looking pretty bleak right now. Cicada tacos, climate change, the wagey cage, skin-covered smartphones, Big Brother, pod babies, robots. It's all so tiresome. And it's far from over, too. Who knows what's coming next? But I guess we'll find out on the next episode of Hell World. Bye, friends.
As your dreams go down the drain, come on, wagey, join the crew. Don't you want your wages too? And if the boss man makes you blue, you deserve it, you're a screw. Weekend comes round after ages. You can come collect your wages. Throw your bodies out your rages, then head back to your cages.
Alexa, fart.
That was a creamy one. Try asking me for a random
Alexa,
fart
stop.
or try. That was a creamy one.
Alexa, stop!
Okie dokie.
Ted K was right.